quietness. Um, as we keep coming back to this theme of silence and quietness, it's really the way to discover what we already are. And what we are is what we seek. It's quite paradoxical that all of these great traditions that have come down through the ages, eventually the great realizers have always said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. You are the self. You are the Buddha nature. Nothing that is outside of you can ever complete you. There's no need to go outside of yourself to find the happiness, the love, the safety, the peace that you seek. That you are what you're looking for. The very essence of your consciousness is the philosopher's stone, the great elixir of life. And so these teachings are always geared towards turning the attention from an outward going focus to an inward going focus, that the cultivation of insight is paramount to these teachings, because when we develop this ability to go within, to actually sense and feel inner space, amazing things begin to manifest and unfold in our life. We actualize these hidden potentials, these abilities to see beyond the level of appearance. Appearance, illusion, maya, samsara, dream, hallucination, these are all synonymous with the outward focusing attention on the external world. That the external world is actually the realm of effect, as we're taught, and the effect is really the outpicturing of an inner condition. And so it's very important to get that what we're seeing out there is a mirror image or a reflection of our inner state. That's why if we see conflict out there, the conflict must first have originated within us. We can't fix the conflict out there by changing political parties, objects, people, what people are saying or not saying. That will never fix or change the conflict. We can see this by just having a cursory understanding of history. It's never changed satisfactorily, ever. And given that dismal situation of recognizing that when we think we got it, we don't got it. And that is, again, motivation or an impetus to turn our attention inward. As Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, first remove the plank that is in your own eye. Then you can see clearly to remove the speck that is in your brother's eye. You will bring your brother light once you've discovered the light within you. You will bring your brother hope once you discover the hope that lives eternally within you. And so this is what these teachings are offering, not less than everything we seek. And yet, as Bob Dylan had said, there's a highway of diamonds with nobody on it. And so these diamonds are strewn and laid out. Like Jesus says in the Gospel of Thomas, the kingdom of God is spread out upon the face of the earth, and people don't see it. It's right here, right now. What are we looking at? Our own ideas. What are we listening to? Our own internal voice. What are we really committed to? Our own judgments and opinions. And this is what we see outpictured, right? And as soon as we polarize into these judgments and opinions, we find allies. And these allies join us in confirming that our judgments and opinions are the correct judgments and opinions. They just are. We feel that. We're justified in feeling that. We have a lot of evidence to substantiate our claims that we're right. Our group is right. And then the other group or groups are doing the same exact thing. As soon as you polarize into judgments and opinions, you're going to have an enemy to fight. Because reality isn't polarized. Reality is one. Reality is without break or division of any kind. And as soon as you polarize into egoic perspectives of the haves and have-nots, the us and the them, you distort reality and you lose connection to knowing you are and have everything. And that's why you're pissed off. You're not really pissed off about what the other side is doing or not doing. You're actually pissed off and sad and in despair because reality is gone from your awareness. Your heart is blocked or darkened. And as a result of that, what to do? Well, the ego has a prescription. Attack. Make an enemy and attack it. That's what you do. And temporarily, you'll feel better. You'll get a little dose of adrenaline. You'll get a little rush of, do you see? We're right. And as a result of living this way, the polarizations never cease. They actually get stronger and stronger. Our judgments become the thing that we live for and as. And meanwhile, this highway of diamonds is offering us infinite abundance, joy, and freedom. And we're too preoccupied with our own voice, our own group. And what's really the sad state of affairs is that if we were to let go of all of our judgments, we would see in this very instant that everything that we're thinking exists within the other is actually my own conflict. It's my own self-hatred. I must remove that plank out of my eye. Then I'll realize my brother is not my enemy. He's my brother. I have risen above the dualities. I've risen above the polarities. I'm outside of the game of conflict. And as a result of that, I'm free. I'm no longer held to groupthink, right? Social engineering. All of these ways that our attention gets siloed, and we don't even know it. We're dupes. And so as a result of this idea, we can recognize that these teachings are offering something completely different. Completely different. It has nothing to do with this world. This world is a fever dream where the children of God have forgotten themselves. And as a result, they have identified with their own image of their ego and are thinking that they are the image. And so what we're going to do today is hopefully sink below that image into the quiet, where there is no conflict, there is no war. Reality is one. Reality is still. Reality is bliss. Reality is joy. Isn't this what we crave? Isn't this why we want to ally with the people that we think we're right? Because we want to be happy. That's always what we really want behind everything we do. We want to be happy, and we want the people that we love to be happy. We want to have enough. We want to feel safe and secure. We want to know tomorrow is taken care of and it's in good hands. You'll never get that in the world. You'll never get that through what the Bible calls the arm of flesh. You can't trust in the minds of the princes and the rulers of this world to ever give you that. Because as George Carlin had said repeatedly, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. Right? Did you ever see that? Oh, it's hilarious. Look it up. And so what you recognize is, yes, they're having their own fever dream too, the ruling elite, but they don't care about you. They'll tell you they care about you. They'll even cry and think, make you think that, we're doing our best. But that's why I'm voting for more weapons. So this is what we want to recognize so we're not duped anymore. And then we can pluck the beam out of our eye and see our brother, even those that are doing harmful deeds in the world, as nothing other than confused and distracted minds that will eventually drop their toys of fear and harm. But we don't want to embroil ourselves in those games anymore. It's a waste of our time. And the whole while is we have this highway of diamonds. And we can find it if we get quiet and turn our attention from appearances back into the stillness, right? Because once we find this, we realize there's nothing more to seek. What I was hoping to get with the right person in office or the right bank account or the right partner or the right car or house, it's all here, and it doesn't depend on any of the ephemeral and transitory and constantly changing appearances. This is the fact. This is what all the great realizers have said again and again and again. This club you are a part of. Everyone's a part of this club. And everybody is being called to the Messianic feast. But we all come up with our excuses not to go because we're listening to our opinions and judgments. Today, let's quiet that. Let's allow these opinions and judgments to be seen through. It's a fever dream, right? When I was 10 years old, I contracted spinal meningitis. It was pretty serious. I remember I went to go see Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'll never forget it. It was the end of my Christmas break. It was the big, that first Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was so excited. I got all the best toys for Christmas. And I'm all psyched. I got home from the movie and I'm playing with my Christmas toys. And then I go to bed and I said to my brother, who's in the bunk above me, I don't feel good. And it wasn't more than a couple hours later that I had a fever of 104. And there was nothing that was helping bring the fever down. And it was the only time in my life that I ever experienced fever dreams or fever hallucinations. My mom was next to me trying to cool me down. And meanwhile, remember that game Space Invaders? I'm literally with my mom holding hands, and we're in Space Invaders, and we're trying to run underneath these disappearing barriers while these aliens are shooting their missiles at us. And I'm screaming in the bed, Mom, run. Like I wasn't in bed. She wasn't next to me in bed. We were both in the game. As real as I'm sitting here right now. That's what I experienced. And what these great realizers are telling us is that this is a fever dream. We really think we're in this game. We really think there's a threat out there that we need to protect ourselves from. We have to be ready and defend. Get ready to attack if you're attacked. And all of this is something of a fever. And what we want to recognize is that by going into the quiet, by releasing our judgments, we can actually lower our fever. We can come to a state of wellness, right? Because the spiritual sickness is thinking you're separate from the all and everything that you're created as. That's the only problem we're having. And the only solution to that problem is to allow the attention to turn away from appearances and sink down below the cloud coverage of those raucous and crazy thoughts and settle within the bliss of this ocean of presence, which is always here, always now. Yeah. So this is what we want to do, and I'm so happy that we can do it. I mean, it's again something that comes up in the Tibetan teachings of, when you recognize how rare it is to have this ability to sit and receive the teachings, to have the mental wherewithal to practice the teachings, to have the desire to enter into the experience. These are all very rare occurrences. It's like shooting a bullseye with a bow and arrow from 1,000 yards out. The fact that you can find these teachings that actually bring you back to this place of true recognition, true knowing. Buddha said it's like a tortoise that surfaces every 100 years looking for a breath above the ocean. And in that one instant puts his head through this yoke that's floating on the ocean. Right? So this was one of Buddha's illustrations of how rare it is that you find these teachings and that we find them together. And so I'm very honored and blessed that we can do this, that we can practice. And this is what A Course in Miracles calls a holy encounter. It's where our desires have met. In a way, we have polarized. In a way, we have found not alliances, but friendship. Right? This is the difference. Alliances is where I still keep my selfish, separate self. And you keep your selfish, separate self. But we can come together with these opinions and judgments and form an alliance. I'm still going to seek my own agenda, but temporarily, you're my ally. You're going to help me, and I'll help you as long as we agree on these premises. But the minute you don't agree with me, I'll cut you off. We're not brothers. We're not friends. We're allies. But in this type of teaching, we're willing to put aside all of our judgments and separate identity. And we actually do come together and want this awakening for each other. Like, really will it. Like, what you want to receive for yourself alone, will that for your brothers and your sisters. And the Course says that's how you get it. Because you'll never get it by willing it for yourself alone. Because you're really not alone. Reality is one. Reality is seamless. Reality is a shared experience. And we're all waves on the ocean, but we're also the ocean. Right? And so when we begin to recognize our shared unity, we no longer have these views that will ally us to others, but we will actually join with what we thought to be others, but are really just reflections of myself. Okay? So this all comes about in the quiet. We can't think this and get it. We can't conceptualize this unity and brotherhood, sisterhood. But the quiet, when we dissolve our judgments and opinions and all of our pet theories and our metaphysical infrastructures, we actually come to this place of deeper knowing and experience. Right? So we want to do this together this morning. The way in, I would say, for this service is follow your breath just for a few moments. Deep, slow breathing. Allow the mind to settle a bit more now. Let us make a vow to ourselves today. Let us vow to give up all thoughts that hurt. To give them up, to let them go. To experience life without them. All thoughts of hate and division. All thoughts of othering. We give them up. And with the wonder of a child, we look forward to experiencing that pure atmosphere without those noxious clouds. Slow, deep breath. And if it feels good, sense the area just above the crown of your head becoming very porous and open, what the great seers have referred to as the 1,000-petaled lotus that blooms into enlightened states of consciousness. Feel that area just above the top of your head. And you can say that these 1,000 petals are a higher sensory system of receptivity, so that the Son of God, S-U-N, this light or presence or force, can descend. And you can feel this orb of light or pillar of light descending into the lotus at the crown and illuminating these subtle networks of the spiritual senses. And as the 1,000 petals are activated, there's a nectar, an amrita, that begins to descend into the third eye, gathering and pulling in the center of the brain. And this nectar activates the crystalline channels of the third eye so you can have insight, spiritual vision. And as the third eye region fills with the nectar, this divine amrita, it begins to now drop into the lotus of the heart. And as you feel the heart channels activating, there is a sense of compassion for self and seeming others. A willingness to forgive ourselves of our trespasses and errors, and as a result, to let everyone else off the hook. And as we do this within thought and feeling, the heart center grows stronger and brighter in us. And amidst its glow, we can feel deep within the petals of the heart lotus this divine spark. This is the self, the divine presence, seated within the heart. We must become very quiet. This self always rests in peace. And it calls to us to join and be at peace. My peace I give unto thee. And as we become increasingly attuned to the word, the vibration of this divine spark seated within the heart. It speaks to us, and we must cultivate a deeper listening. And as we tune every cell, every thought, every emotion towards this deeper listening and receptivity, this world of appearances completely falls away. And we realize we are the self, seated within the heart. Everyone, every living thing is this in truth. Soak in the divine radiations of this pearl of great price. Let it change your frequency. As it says in the Upanishads, a piece of wood has fire latent within it. Allow this spark of the self to ignite this piece of wood, this seemingly separate self, and reveal the flame. And see yourself engulfed by this divine fire, this baptism of the Holy Spirit. All illusions are burned up, and you see with divine vision. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Lesson 41 from A Course in Miracles. God goes with me wherever I go. Today's idea will eventually overcome completely the sense of loneliness and abandonment which all the separated ones experience. Depression is an inevitable consequence of separation. So are anxiety, worry, a deep sense of helplessness, misery, suffering, and intense fear of loss. The separated ones have invented many, many cures for what they believe to be the ills of the world. But the one thing they do not do is to question the reality of the problem. Yet its effects cannot be cured because the ills of the world are not real. The idea for today has the power to end all this foolishness forever. And foolishness it is, despite the serious and tragic forms it may take. Deep within you is everything that is perfect, ready to radiate through you and out into the whole world. It will cure all sorrow and pain and fear and loss, because it will heal the mind that thought these things were real and suffered out of its allegiance to these beliefs. You want to hear that again. So what he's saying is what we were just practicing, discovering that divine presence, the spark within, and allowing it to radiate and burn up all the illusions, judgments, opinions, and beliefs that are blocking it. And we would send this out into the world as our gift to the world, right? Giving true hope, true healing, true love to the world, right? Removing the speck from our brother's eye because the plank has been removed and we are the light itself, right? We are the light of the world. So he's saying here that when you do discover this and allow it to radiate through you out into the world, it will cure all sorrow. It will cure all pain and fear and loss, because it will heal the mind that thought these things were real. Right? Don't you think they're real right now? Right? You're just acting on your best judgment. Right? How can you blame yourself for trying to want happiness for those that you love and for yourself? Who's to blame for such a noble intention? But when we go about it in a way that never allows it to manifest, that is the recipe for insanity. And so we want to recognize that it will heal all the sorrow. It will cure all the pain and fear and loss. Not me. Me, the me that I think I am, is suffering for believing in the tragedies and the anxieties. Once I allow this to radiate into my mind, that mind is cured or healed from these harmful beliefs. I will to give up all thoughts that hurt, all thoughts of othering, right? Those are thoughts that hurt. We might not think of it that way at the surface appearance level, but reality is one. And what you do to one string within the web of life, you do to all. The whole web is affected when you judge, pull, or try to cut one of the threads of the web. We don't realize that we're a holism, right? The mind that doesn't know that we're a holism is hurting itself with these beliefs. So it will cure the mind, not the mind. The mind is not the place to go looking for a cure, okay? He goes on, he says, you can never be deprived of your perfect holiness because its source goes with you wherever you go. The self is seated within the heart of all beings. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the beginning, the middle, and end of all beings. I am sitting within the heart of all beings. And those who are devoted to me, those who surrender to me, I will take care of all of their needs. This is what he says in the Gita. right? Speaking as the divine voice. That's truth. All of your needs will be met, but you must surrender to the one seated within the heart. He goes with you wherever you go. He will never leave you or forsake you. He is you, and you are him. The mind that doesn't know that is suffering. You can never suffer because the source of all joy goes with you wherever you go. You can never be alone because the source of all life goes with you wherever you go. Nothing can disturb your peace of mind because God goes with you wherever you go. And then he says this, we understand that you do not believe all this. How could you, when the truth is hidden deep within, under a heavy cloud of insane thoughts, dense and obscuring, yet representing all you see, right? The inner is projecting the outer. These dense, obscuring, insane thoughts are mine. This is my darkness within, and I think I'm seeing it out there. And you're to blame, and you're to blame for my darkness. I don't see my own plank in my own eye. I see the problem completely over there with my enemy. But I don't realize my enemy is made from, and only from, my insane thoughts that I would want healed. I'm willing to give up all thoughts that hurt. What if you did this and it worked? What if this is actually true and not just a feel-good platitude that you're getting for an hour, like when you scroll on Facebook or social media and you're like, oh, that's so nice. What if this is actually real and true? And you can embody it and experience it. In fact, it's already yours. It's your inheritance. So where is the allegiance? To joy? To the end of all sorrow? Or to these crazy, insane, obscuring ideas? Where's your allegiance? What do you want? Today we will make our first real attempt, he says, to get past this dark and heavy cloud and go through it to the light beyond. He says it's quite possible to reach God. In fact, it's very easy because it is the most natural thing in the world. You might even say it is the only natural thing in the world. The way will open if you believe it possible. Isn't that amazing? The way will open if you believe it possible. In the second service today, I'm filling in for Jude, and we're going to be talking about faith. That's the power of faith right there. The power of the mind to believe it possible that it can join or merge with God, and it be so. We are the only ones holding ourselves back. Right? Just like Jesus will see the cripple and he'll say to the master, Lord, heal me. And then the master says to the cripple, according to your faith, be it done unto you. Right? In other words, this is always being radiated. But our faith is what takes it, receives it, and experiences it. Right? Belief turns into knowledge when it's operating in a healthy way. But you must first believe that it's possible, or you won't see the sign Highway of Diamonds this way. Right? You'll be wandering in the dark. Belief will open up the way. I want to share one more lesson. So God goes with me wherever I go. Never alone. Can't be in sorrow. Can't be sick. Right? How could I be? All of creation's abundance, health, and joy are at the center of my very being. The only thing that can keep me estranged from that are my insane beliefs that I don't have that that I am not that. My brother's not that. You see, they go hand in hand. You can't receive this for yourself alone because you're not alone. All reality is one spiritual fabric or substance. And that means all of your brothers. Pray for your enemies, right? Don't hate your enemies. Pray for your enemies. Why? Because you're not insane. That's why. It would be insane to think there is an other that exists outside of the unity of reality. If you believe that, then you're separate from yourself because you're the one, as we're going to see in a few moments from a beautiful passage that will summarize this so lovely. But if we judge another, we're projecting our darkness and attacking it in an appearance. The appearance is the effect, as much as we don't believe it right now, as he just told us. Right? The whole world of the ego stands or falls if you get this or don't get it. We're only attacking our projections. There's really no one out there other than our projection of what we think they are. When we remove the plank of our projection, we will see reality is one. It's holy. It's love. We're doing this to ourselves with our insane beliefs. How amazing is this knowledge? If it's true, it changes everything. And it's really the only solution because we've sought many cures in the world. And there is no cure except realizing you're the son or child of God and you're projecting your illusions. The only way to heal the world is to allow this light of God to shine your illusions away. Right? You must withdraw your projections, bring them to the feet of the Master, and let them be shined away, and enter into your rest. So a little bit more here, lesson 49. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. It is quite possible to listen to God's voice all day without interrupting your regular activities in any way. The part of your mind in which truth abides is in constant communication with God, whether you are aware of it or not. It is the other part of your mind that functions in the world and obeys the world's laws. It is this part that is constantly distracted, disorganized, and highly uncertain. Right? So this is the prodigal. This is the part of the mind that has wandered away from the Father consciousness. Right? It really sees itself as an other, and it sees others as a result. But it's not that. It's just a frantic thought that we have decided to make real for a crazy reason, obviously. The part that is listening to the voice of truth is calm, always at rest and wholly certain. Didn't you feel that in the meditation? Don't you feel that when you're in states of meditation? Natural. Yes, I can feel this. I can feel the self radiating in my presence. Very natural. That's the calm part of the mind, right? We simply turned our attention to that. It's always occurring, but we get distracted away and focus on the little self. He says it's this calm part of your mind is really the only part there is. Listen to this now. The other part, right, that goes by the name you were given at birth, the other part is a wild illusion, frantic and distraught, but without reality of any kind. Try today not to listen to it. Try to identify with the part of your mind where stillness reigns forever. Try to hear God's voice call to you lovingly, reminding you what your Creator has not forgotten, that you are His child. We will try actually to hear the voice within you, reminding you of God and of yourself. We will approach this happiest and holiest of all thoughts with confidence, which is another name for faith. Right? This is what opens up the way. You see it's possible. You want it. You believe it. Now you're confident that it will come into your experience. This is how it's done. When you're ready, it appears. Knowing that in doing so, we are joining our will with the will of God. He wants you to hear his voice. He gave it to you to be heard. Now he's saying you could do this all through your day. So wherever you go, whatever you're doing, he says, just simply stay tuned in to listening to the one who speaks in the silence. He says, listen in deep silence. Be very still and open your mind. Go past all of the raucous shrieks and sick imaginings that cover your real thoughts and obscure your eternal link with God. Sink deep into the peace that waits for you beyond the frantic, riotous thoughts and sounds and sights of an insane world. You do not live there. You are trying to reach your real home. You are trying to reach the place where you are truly welcome. You are trying to reach God. Right? And we get the image of the father running out to the prodigal. Right? So before the prodigal even comes home, the father is running out to embrace the long-lost child. Right? It took faith for the prodigal to say, I'm leaving this reality of famine and struggle and separateness from my father consciousness. I have to believe I can go home now. But once I'm on the path of faith, the Father comes running, the grace comes radiating to embrace us. Before we even get through the door, we'll begin to feel this presence. And it will gently draw us inward, something we can't do on our own. Grace has to do that. But faith, belief, and confidence will get you into the embrace of the Father. Right? Very, very important. Why wait? Act now. Right? By recognizing anything other than this is an illusion of an insane world that we're trying to make better with methods and means that will never work. They just won't. You can try and try again and drop this garment of flesh and come back with another garment of flesh and try some more. But eventually, we all come to that place of knowing this ain't going to work. It's like trying to straighten out a pig's tail. It's just not going to work. Okay? The only option is to turn within and then allow what you discover to heal the minds that believe in an insane world the way that you once did. Everyone is having the right to be happy and to be free, not just our allies, but everyone, right? So some final thoughts here. So on Tuesday nights, we've been studying the Infinite Way teachings of Joel Goldsmith. We're going to have a new class coming up in a few weeks. I highly recommend, if you're not in the class, get in the class. These teachings are life-changing, yes? And when you really begin to catch the wave of where Joel is speaking from, he's living this, yeah? And so I wanted to share a few of his words with you as a way of putting a seal on our time together today. He tells us something we've heard many times already in this service. All life is one. The one infinite divine being surges through all being as one life, and one love. One soul unites all creation in its embrace and is the life of all creation. This soul is not separate or apart from any form of life. Soul is not in any being or form of being, nor is soul separate from being, for soul is being. Now listen to this. I am not in the earth or in the tree or in the bird. I am these. I am the gentle movement of the clouds, yet more, the very fleeciness itself. I am the brightness of the sun and its movement. I am the breeze in the air, the swaying of palm fronds, yet the palm itself. I look out from the stars, but being also the sky, I hold the stars within me. Beneath is world upon world within my embrace, while I look out from these worlds to the stars above. I am the life and color of the jade in my ring, and the consciousness of the organs of my body. There is no place where I leave off as the life of one, or begin as the life or mind of another, because all is one. I flow through all, in all, as all. I am also the flow. I am in musical sounds, yet I am the sound itself. Of all creation, I am the essence, the fiber, the fabric, the form, the action, the very mind, and the very life. And that I am is our I am. Yes? There is no other. How else could it be? Life is one. So, blue bag will go around. If you're joining on Facebook or YouTube, just click the donate button below if you'd like to support the 8 a.m. service here at Unity. We thank you very much for that. Well, the blue bag has transformed into a basket. It reminds me of my Catholic days. That's right. And we bless this offering and we charge it with the force and intention to show up as forms in the world that will heal division, violence, and othering, so that we all may recognize the one life and one love that we equally share. And so it is. Amen. Okay, my friends, let's rise and seal the deal. Again, we rest within the heart and feel this universal self. And as we join within the heart and experience this seemingly at our own personal level, we are also joining everyone in this one state of self-awareness. And it's in this oneness that the light of God, the love of God, the power of God, and the presence of God, wherever we are, God is. Amen. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you.